Hydra is a boss that's 95% mechanic, so even as a pure, you'll be able to kill loads in inventory. Let's start off by showing you how to get there, because as a pure, we can't really teleport directly here with fairy rings or any teleports. So what we need to do is we need to go to Farming Guild via a skills necklace or a teleport from your house. Then you need to run all the way up here. And if you've got the agility level up here, which is 29 and then 62. If not, you have to run all the way around and come to this bank here. From there, this is where we're going to do all of our banking and setups. Then when you've done all your banking from here, you're going to want to run and go all the way to this dungeon entrance here. From here, you run upwards and you go through the Hydras to the right, and this is where you retrieve your items if you lose them, and then there's the Hydra. However, if you do have 88 agility, you can use this pipe shortcut to avoid the dangerous Hydras. They're not really dangerous, they're just going to waste maybe two food at most, so I do the pipe teleport. It's just a lot easier than going through the Hydras. Right, now first we're going to go over the Blowpipe Cell, because this is going to be the most setups a lot of pures use, because it's cheap and very, very powerful. So I wanted a really nice prayer bonus, as well as range bonus setup, and the way I did that is I got an archer's ring as well as a Zami robe top and the mitra. You could go for the ring of the gods and then go for the tunic and robin, but I'd like this. It's cheaper and most effective in my opinion. The ranging cape for the prayer bonus instead of the ranger bonus, I don't think +4 is really that important in my opinion. This setup's never done me wrong. The bracelet of slaughter I use to extend my task for Hydras, because you all know Hydra is nearly impossible to get as a task, and that's just a fact. It's like like finding fucking gold, let's be real. But you got a Hydra task, you want to get there as long as possible. Now, instead of having it in my inventory just to save a slot, I've had that over what? Black Dyed Vams? Vams aren't that good in my opinion. I like having it, it's just nice, simple, yeah, and decent. Now, boots of stone, you're going to need boots of stone, because if you don't wear boots of stone, inside the volcano is going to hurt you really badly, and yeah, you need the boots of stone on. So this is myself, the blowpipe. You can change it again with the Ring of the Gods and the tunic if you think that's better. I like this setup though. So for the inventory, you're going to need a ranging pot and an antidote. I like 5 super restores. A teleport out for me is a construction cape, and I use a summer pie because I'm only, what, 84 agility, so I do use that shortcut with a boost to the pie. And the rest is just food. You know, you don't need restores or brews because, again, 95% of this boss is mechanics. So once you've learned the mechanics, I have to drop a lot of this food to bring stuff to the bank. You could use alks. A lot of people do bring alks. However, I'm a hoarder. I like having the items in my bank to nice, you know, to just stack up. I like seeing 100 of this, 100 of that. It's nice. So that's itself the blowpipe, which I think is the best in my opinion. Gonna go over some information about the boss now. Don't worry, you don't have to remember it all. We'll be doing a live kill with instructions as well. However, Hydra attacks with magic and ranged, of which it changes its attack every 3 times it attacks. So it'll do 3 mage and 3 range, or vice versa. It must also be lured to pools, the correct pools, which we'll go over in a minute. If you do not lure him to these pools, you will not be able to damage them and you won't be able to kill it. Okay, before you can start damaging the first phase, you have to lure it to the red pool. Once it's over the red pool, it'll make a noise, and then you can start killing it. However, after the very first 3 attacks Hydra does, it's going to spit acid at you, so get ready to move. Okay, and when Hydra gets to 75% HP, it's going to turn blue, and you want to lure it to the green pool. Now, it's going to fire lightning attacks after it does 3 attacks. Now, a lot of people do a lot of dancing around the room, and honestly, Hydra has too many mechanics. I just avoid them. I stand in the corner, I tank 1 piece of lightning damage for like 8 damage. It's nothing, and you can just avoid this entire phase completely. Third phase of Hydra starts at 75% hit points. Then you need to lure it to the blue pool. After it does 3 attacks again, I believe, it goes to the middle and it starts to do a firewall. Now you have to keep moving to avoid being damaged by the firewall, and I'm going to show you how in the video. The final phase is going to start attacking you with the exact opposite of what the 3rd red phase ended with. So if phase 3 ended with a magic attack, you want to start praying range, and then every single attack you switch prayer. So after the 3rd attack, it's going to spit acid at you. Then after that, until you kill it, every 10th attack it'll spit acid at you. So as we're going to go into the room right now, it's going to attack me with range. That's correct. So I'm going to run and try and lure it onto the red one. So after 3 attacks, it's going to spit venom. So that's the 3rd attack there. So now it's going to spit venom, but it's also going to change prayer attack style. So I need to change prayer. There we go. So I've got mage. So I'm luring it over here now, because when it turns blue, we need to lure it onto the green phase. So now it's ready and prepped. Now I can focus on my prayer switches. There we go, range. So after 3 attacks now, it's going to, again, need prayer changing. 1, 2, 3. So when it gets to about 800 health, it's then going to turn blue. So I'm going to run back and going to get it onto the green pad in the blue phase. Always concentrating on your prayer after 3 attacks. This is the Hydra is a lot counting to 3. There we go. It's turned to blue. I'm going to run and lure it onto the pad. There you go. It's nice and lowered onto the pad. It doesn't matter what phase it is. It's always going to change after 3 attacks. So this should be the 3rd. So now it's going to start spitting electric, I believe, if I've read this correct. There we go. So now the lightning's out. Now, a lot of people here start dancing around the electric, but not me. I know I just sit in this corner, which I'm about to walk into now, and tank one of the lightning phases, and that's it. It's over. I've completed an entire phase by tanking 1 piece of damage and sitting in this corner. So always being mindful about the prayer switches, keeping them on. Every 3 attacks it's going to change, and make sure you're lowering it correctly. So right now it's blue phase, right next to the blue pool. There we go. But when it's going to turn red, we need to get it on that blue pool, which is going to turn red at about 600 damage. So it's going to turn red. There we go. Now it's red. So we run into this corner here to lure it onto the blue pool, and now it's onto the blue pool. Always being mindful after 3 attacks, we always need to switch prayer, and then very shortly it's going to start spitting. Walking into the middle to spit the fire. Now, but if you move 1 square with a blowpipe every time and hit it, you can basically wooks walk it. So it's always move a tile, hit, move a tile, hit, move a tile, hit. And if you go into a nice little pattern like that, you can hit it, never get hit, and avoid all the fire. There we go. So now all the fire's avoided, we're just going to just DPS it down until the final phase. Now on the final phase, it's every single attack we switch prayer. We switch prayer, but we switch every 3 until the final phase. So now the final phase starts. It's going to start with an attack opposite of what the red phase ended with. So this is going to be a mage. So now after every 3 attacks, we need to switch prayers. So now it's going to move. It's going to spit acid after 3 attacks. There we go. So every attack we switch prayer, sorry, but after the 3rd it spits acid. Now we have 9 attacks to keep it hitting it and switching prayers before it spits its next acid. Always being mindful of your prayer switches and counting how many times it attacks you so you don't get hit by the venom. I know there's a lot of information. I know I couldn't do this live. Honestly, I could not do this live. There's way too much concentration. That was your 10th attack. It spit acid, but we did kill it in time, and the loot is decent. It's like 100k. It's not too bad. That's pretty much a flawless kill. Alright, so when you've successfully killed Hydra, make sure you go into this corner I'm showing on screen right now in the northeast. If you stay here, Hydra will spawn and walk up to you onto the red pool, so you don't have to lure it after you've killed the first one in the room. That's pretty cool. It's nice, makes it a lot easier. That way, I'm going to show right now on screen. There we go, he's lured himself. So all you got to do is focus on the 3rd attack and carry on as always. Now, if you're using a twisted bow or dragon hunter crossbow, it's pretty much the exact same each kill. The only difference is on the firewalk, you cannot hit it once and move, obviously, because the attack is a lot slower. So you're going to have to move 4 to 5 squares and hit it every time. However, if you're using a twisted bow, you destroy it so quick, most of the time you just avoid the fire phase anyway. Alright guys, that's pretty much the guide over. That's all you really need to know. Just be very mindful of the mechanics, especially switching every 3 attacks. And you should be good to go. It's pretty fun, it's very, very profitable, and hell yeah.